Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mr. Riley coming to you live from Dolphin Studios. Check it out after the intro. We have the man, the myth, the legend, Coach Smith on the line. So we're going to hang out for a couple of minutes tonight. We're not going to be long tonight. We're not going to be long. Your boy is tired. He's tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. I can't even say it. See, that's why we're not going to be long tonight. Anyway, after the intro, come on back and we're going to talk some Pali football. We're going to recap the Charter Bowl game, and then we're going to also preview. We'll also preview the St. Gen game that's going down this coming Friday. So come on back after the intro.
Hey, win on me, win on three, ready, 1, 2, 3. Win! Oh, yeah! Stop playing with a beat! 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 Stop playing with a beat!
Some call it the gridiron.
Nice route, way to skim it.
Others, 100 yards of pay.
Too much.
We just like to call it football.
Football.
With Facebook James.
Football, baby.
Hey everyone, what's going on? This is Mr. Riley coming to you live again from Dolphin Studio. Welcome to the show. If you're watching live, go ahead and drop a couple of comments just to let us know that you're watching. And if you happen to watch the replay, you can always put in replay squad and just drop some comments. But, you know, if you're watching live, we'd love to have you interact with us as we are going live right now on this Wednesday evening, several days before the St. Genevieve game. And, you know, we have just a couple of reminders, if you will, not necessarily announcements, but reminders as it relates to this coming week. And so let's go ahead and hop into it real quick. And so I think we've been pretty successful so far with our YouTube stream. Our subscribers have definitely increased over the past few weeks. And again, if you want to check out the Friday Night Lights football game, then all you have to do is go over to This Week in Pali Football, which kind of looks like this on YouTube. Just go in, type in This Week in Pali Football. And then if you have not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And that way you'll be notified when we go live on Friday nights, okay? And so, again, we have both halves, you know, already published and, you know, ready to go. So that is the first half right there, the first half link. And then if we go back as well, there's going to be a link for the second half. And so, again, the best way to be notified that we're live from the Stadium by the Sea on Friday is to go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel, okay? Now, I know on Friday, we had some technical difficulties. I don't know what happened during the second half of the game. The stream just froze, and so I don't know what happened. But we did attempt to, well, actually we didn't attempt, we did get it going again, so that way everyone could follow. And so hopefully, you know, technology does what it does. And so hopefully we can have a flawless stream this coming Friday. But just know, anytime that the stream has stopped or there's some kind of technical difficulty, we will do our best to just restart it. We'll probably unable to add a link like you see on the YouTube channel there, but just know, you know, give us several moments and then we'll pop back up and you should be able to continue watching. So that's just in the case of just something, you know, something might happen during the stream. All right. And I believe I did get word today that there might not be a JV game because St. Gen, our next opponent, does not have a JV team. So I know Coach is scrambling to, you know, find an opponent for the JV squad. So we'll let you know if a JV, you know, game is going down 4:00 at the Stadium by the Sea. So as I know, you guys will probably know before me, and Pali football, the QB club is you know, on it, and they'll send out a notification to either yes, we have an opponent, or no, we don't have an opponent. Okay, so just be aware of that. And then, you know, other than that, we're just going to go ahead and hop into our discussion with Coach Smith. And so, again, Coach Smith, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me again.
Absolutely, man. So let's go ahead. We last time we met, last week we were talking about just some of the offensive players that we have on our team, and then we also talked about special teams. And I wanted to save defense for tonight. So let's go ahead and talk about some of our defensive players. The D line and just the secondary and all that. So go ahead and highlight some of our players for the varsity squad, Coach Smith.
Well, it's funny. I actually did the stats or typed in the stats today for the defensive guys, and just looking at the numbers, a few guys jumped out. Isaiah Sensabaugh, his first game, he had 9 solo tackles. He had a safety. So on the season, he's had 14 solo tackles, 5 assisted, 2 sacks. I'm sorry, 2 tackles for losses, a sack. A fumble recovery. I mean, at the corner position, that's pretty, that's pretty good. Matthew Spoonermore is having a great season as well. 19 total tackles, tackle for loss, couple pass deflections. He caused 2 fumbles last week. He's just all over the place. Let me see who else. Jesse Edis has had a couple good games. Cash Allen. Unfortunately, Evan's been hurt, but he had a great first game. He was actually our defensive player of the week first game with 3 sacks. So just we've had an overall great contribution from our D line, linebackers, and cornerbacks.
Yeah, no, I remember the first game, and Evan, he was just all over the place, right? If I had to give, if I had to give some props to somebody on the defense, it was that dude, because he was just a terror, and would not allow El Camino, the Royals to, he just put a lot of pressure on them. And then, like you said, the past 2 games, Sensabaugh has had a definitely impact. Even last week after he got hurt, he still went back in the game. And, I could definitely tell that he was like, look, whatever this little injury is, I'm going to shake it off and go ahead and play and do what I need to do for the football squad.
And also Rowan Flynn, he's actually leading the team in tackles. He's 21 tackles total, 4 tackles for loss. He caused a fumble recovery. He has a sack. So Rowan Flynn, I mean, he's flew under the radar, but he's been our best defensive player so far the last 3 games.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and here's the difference. Like last year, Jesse, I was calling his name like earlier in the season last year, and I don't think I've called his name too many times, but I know I've called Rowan, I've called Saxon Wald. He's been tremendous as well. Someone who stepped up from last year, and he's filled in as a senior, and he's putting up big, or he should be putting up big numbers as well.
Definitely, and after that first game, he had that big hit, but you could tell his confidence has flown since then. It was the flag was the right call, but it was not a dirty play. It was a legal hit. He just didn't wrap up, which was the explanation. And ever since that hit, you can just tell his confidence has gone, through the roof. So it's been a pleasure to watch. And then he scored a touchdown last week. So, I'm really happy to see Saxon play well.
Yeah, no, defense has always been, and I think I've said this before, Coach, defense has always been one of our trademarks. To have a good, when Coach Hyde was here, great defensive teams, Hajduk, great defense, and hopefully we're going to continue that same tradition under your regime, just making sure our defense plays well and get some heavy and good hits all the time and put a lot of pressure on the opposing offense.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, it's true. You got to win. You can't win championship without defense.
Absolutely.
And when offense is struggling, you need the defense to really keep you in the games.
Absolutely. So we talked about defense, and let's just go ahead and address the elephant in the room. The Charter Bowl. We didn't play that well. What do you think happened during the course of the game? I know there were some injuries that happened, but just what do you think happened? Just from your observation during the course of that of the Charter Bowl football game.
Yeah, we had Braden injure his ankle in the practice the day before, 2 days prior on Tuesday. Number one receiver being out kind of hurt us a little bit. We still got some young guys still trying to fill their way receiver wise. So we just couldn't get a rhythm going on offensively, and they didn't do anything special. They played man across the board a lot, and we just didn't win our matchups. Bottom line, so we worked a lot of one-on-ones yesterday, just trying to get those receivers, to work on man-to-man, because we're going to see a lot of that again this week. So, like I said, we just couldn't get a rhythm offensively. Defensive, they played as well as they could with that offense. It's a sluggish offense. You can fall asleep at times, and you really have to be on your P's and Q's all the time to really keep up with it. And they had a couple good running backs that just ran the ball well, and we got tired at the end, and we just couldn't get anything offensively. So offensive really put a lot of pressure and stress on our defense. So we have to offensively. I think we really have to step it up this week.
Yeah, absolutely. I just from my observation, I was telling, I think I was telling my wife, or one of my sons who was watching, he just, they, to me, they did, after being up, or 12-7 at halftime, they were still in the game.
Right.
But I think for whatever reason, it could have been some of the injuries. I know some of our boys went down in the first half. And we talked about Braden. I was surprised to see him, because I was just like, the week before it was Evan,
right,
and then this week it was Braden. I'm like, oh, come on, dude.
Right.
So maybe the boys were kind of just felt behind the 8 ball. I don't want to say they had a defeatist attitude at the very beginning of the game, because I think we actually scored first. And then they went on to score, like I said, at the halftime it was 12-7. So, I just, from my perspective, I don't think they didn't feel confident in the second half. Even though, the score was just 26-10. I think, Granada got a couple of big plays, and, again, they just couldn't stop that run. It's kind of shifty. And, they did have some, I'm looking at the, let's go ahead and look at the box score real quick. I think I can push it. Yeah, there we go. So if we can get rid of this commercial.
I know, I get those every day.
So here's the box score I was referring to. The quarter one. It was a dogfight in the beginning, because it was 0-0 in the first quarter, and then we started to score. They scored, and then them scoring 6 and 8. In third and fourth quarter. It really wasn't that much, but just I think again our boys didn't play up to the intensity that I've seen them play in the past few years.
Yeah, after we scored, we were up, we were hyped, and then I think what happened was that kickoff return right after that, it just deflated our whole team. And we just couldn't recover from that. And, halftime, they were, the kids were still like, we're still in this. It was only, like I said, a 5-point game. But I think they scored first coming out of halftime, and after that, we just got, defeated again. So we just have to teach our team, like, even though we're down, things happen. We're never out of games. We still got to keep that same energy up, throughout the whole game.
Absolutely. And then, just speaking to what you talked about with the offense, some of the stats in Max Preps here, you see the difference. We're not even going to talk about their pass attempts.
Right.
I mean, we and it was funny. Here's a funny thing, Coach. As I was just saying, they don't pass, and I think as soon as I said that, I mentioned that, they're a non-passing team, they went ahead and attempted to pass, right?
Right. Yeah.
And even the second time, I think I'd said something about them, they don't pass the ball. Then they pass the ball again, and at the beginning of the broadcast, I was just like, look, they're probably going to pass the ball under 5 times, right? And
Right.
I kind of did the same thing with Roosevelt, because they pretty much play the same kind of offense. So we're not even going to look at their pass attempts. But you're looking at look at Roman, which out of the 3 games that they've played already, this is probably the lowest production game. I know the first game was like 200, almost 230 yards, I believe. Last week was I think 170. And so, it's still early in the season, and we know the boys are definitely going to bounce back. And you mentioned Braden being out. Roman and Braden, they're like two peas in a pod, best friends, and all that kind of good stuff. So I know that might have done some, it was kind of challenging maybe for Braden just to kind of figure out who he's going to distribute the ball to.
Yeah, Jaden's been playing better each week. I think he had 3 catches for 50 yards. I can't remember, but he had a productive game. And like you said, it's just Roman trying to fill out the other guys and trying to get their chemistry going down. But obviously, Braden and Roman, their chemistry is, it is what it is. So I just, trying to get Roman to get the chemistry with those other guys so he can spread it around and not focus on one guy and, be successful. But like I said, they just, their defense put a lot of pressure on us, on Roman, and he just couldn't get into a rhythm, stepping into his throws. So, it was more of a pressure thing than a chemistry thing to me.
Absolutely, yeah. No, they did bring the pressure, and just talking about some of the receivers, Saxon Wall, as you'd already mentioned. I had that one 9-yard reception. Jaden caught 3 balls. Max, Terrell, who really, I think if I had to give like a person who really played a good game was Terrell, because not only did he have 50 yards receiving, I think he had about almost 75 yards rushing. And so, especially in the second half, I thought, he was like, look, I'm going to try to put y'all on my back. You got to come with me. You got to do a little work, but I'm going to do what I can. And so, if I had to give a game ball to somebody, it would definitely be Terrell, because he was like, look, let's go out. I'm going to ball out and do what I can to help this team win.
Yeah, absolutely. My game plan in the second half was to, establish the run a little bit more. But, there was one play we get stopped for a run. So now it's a long distance situation. They have to get into a passing down. So it was kind of hard to, even play calling to get into a rhythm and, what I want to do. But he second half, he came out running. I think his longest run was 29 yards in the third quarter. So he was really, really getting into a rhythm. And then one mistake here and there, penalty here or there, it just took us out of our rhythm.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm looking again at the. Let me go ahead and pull it back up. Just rushing, looks like he was 10 carries, 75 yards. His longest was 29. So, and then also some of the other running backs. They need to kind of step up. And for me, I'm not going to sit here and talk negative about the boys, but just from my observation, just as a football analyst, if you will, the boys need to step up. And I know their defense was kind of was on point as well, just like their offense. But we were kind of in there. And I think, like you said, they just once that run back happened in the second half, they kind of might have felt some kind of way. About the rest of the game. But, we kind of talked about the negative part, and I think we've already kind of addressed my next question, which was what did work well. And I think, to your point, you talked about Terrell, you talked about Saxton and some of the other boys playing, attempting to play well during this charter ball football game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Terrell, he's, as a play caller, you want somebody like him on your team because he could take a bad play and make it a positive. So having him out there really helps. Like I said, Jaden played well. He had some catches, some broken tackles. Tyler Saul also played very well. He had 3 catches. He had a nice catch and run. Late in the first half, I believe. So those guys are getting more reps, stepping up. Harrison, the running game is kind of my fault. The way we play fast pace, it's hard to really sub and get a rhythm with the running backs rotation. So on paper, it looks like they're not really running well, but they actually do run hard and run well. And I think it was Roosevelt. Harrison had a really good game, breaking long runs. So it's just more of me getting that rhythm, that rotation going on, and getting those other guys more carries. Besides just Terrell, I also want to save Terrell for the end of the season. I have 3 legit running backs, so the more carries those guys can get, it takes less strain on Terrell.
Absolutely. No, that's good. I mean, and then from your perspective, based on what you just said, it wasn't that they played well. It was a combination of, not being able to kind of move the ball. But you saw some good stuff, based on how you were calling the plays. And so, that's also a shining point as well. And again, it's going to take you and the boys to go back in the lab and kind of fix things so that, the next game, and we can go ahead and segue over to St. Gen. What kind of, I don't want you to spill the beans, but how have you prepped for St. Genevieve, our opponent this coming Friday?
To be honest, we went back to the basics. Everything we did leading up from summer to the first game of the season, we went back. Practice structure, drills, everything. The good thing is St. Jen's runs a very similar defense to what we run.
Okay.
Not exactly, but very similar. So basically, we're just practicing against our defense, and obviously some different blitzes and tweaks here and there, but their base defense is the same as ours. So it's been very easy to get more stuff done. Last week we had to change our practice structure because of the type of offenses we saw. So it took away from our offensive time to really prepare. And I think that kind of hurt us against Granada because we just, no fault to anybody's. It's just the type of offense we were playing against. We just couldn't practice the way we wanted to. But this week we've gotten back to what we started to before El Camino, and we've had two really good practices this week. I felt the energy was back up. Drills were live. Kids were flying around. Our tempo was up. So I'm really excited to see what's going to happen Friday night.
Yeah, I'm over here looking, and again, this broadcast is not sponsored by Max Preps, but Max Preps is a wonderful resource to use for everything high school football. So, the Valiants are 0-2, and let me go ahead and pop them up real quick. So that's just a little bit about them. So they're 0-2, winless so far. We've already, we've had 2 wins and 1 loss. And so if we look at some of their just their team averages in terms of scoring, you see it right there. Their average is 5, and I'm hoping that this is correct, right? Their average is 5, and then our average is 27. So if you look at, of course, anyone can see that, we're scoring more than St. Genevieve, so that's a good thing, right? That would be a check mark for us. And then let's look at just some of the this team stat comparison. St. Gen, 165 yards. We're going at and this is just rushing, 108 yards. So they, it looks like just on paper that they have some kind of rushing attack.
Yeah. I mean, they're balanced. I mean, the funny thing is they run not the same, but a similar offense on Friday night. So we're kind of mirroring each other, just different tweaks here and there. But they can run the ball. They can pass the ball. They have a good running back. So we have to stay on our P's and Q's, and our DB is going to have to step up this week and really, really concentrate and focus because the last 2 weeks it's been run. But now it's going to be a lot more passing. So
absolutely. Yeah, just looking at, again, St. Gen, 41.5 or 42 yards passing per game. We're 178. Total yards, 207 for St. Gen, 207 for St. Gen. We're passing almost 287 yards per game. Tackles per game, it's pretty close. They're at 57. We're at 53. Sacks per game. They're averaging 1, we're averaging 1, and then points per game, as we talked about in the beginning. So, it's going to be a good contest, and just based on what you said, we have similar styles on both offense and defense. And I know last year when we played the inaugural game, it was a good game. It was played in the rain. And folks were going back and forth. I think we had a nice little lead, but then they came back and I think they took the lead away from us. And then at the last 2 minutes of the game, someone who wore number 4, who used to live in my house, he had a wonderful touchdown run at the end of the game. So that kind of sealed it for us, right? But no, it was a close game, and so we expect Anthony Escobar and Mike Wynn and Albert and Giovanni, and they're going to bring it, just like Terrell, Roman, Jesse. Braden. Well, actually, Braden. We'll talk about the injury report in a second. But all of our guys, I'm sure they're going to be ready for Thursday night's contest. So let's just go ahead and talk about
Friday night.
Oh, Friday night, yeah. Man, I told you, your boy is tired. Okay, yes.
It's not your fault. It's been changed a lot.
Yeah. So Friday night, 7:00, Stadium by the Sea. Let's go ahead and we're going to add a new segment to the show, I guess. And I think I talked about it before we went on. The injury report. Who's going to be out this week? Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me see. Can you hear me?
We still have Evan. He's still out with a shoulder injury.
Okay. Evan's
yeah,
out.
It's breaking up a little bit, but I can go ahead. All right, there you go.
Okay. So Evan's out. I think we might.
Yeah, Evan's still out. Braden's going to be out again this week. Excuse me.
Okay. What about what about Isaiah? I know he kind of hurt himself. What about Shane, and what about LeHenry?
Shane's going to be out again this week. He hasn't practiced with us all week. Isaiah's been back at practice, so he's okay. Jabari Williams, he got injured, but his knee's been okay. He was hobbling a little bit yesterday, but he's been practicing 100% with us, so we've been just kind of monitoring his injury. LeHenry's been fine. He practiced with us all week as well, so expect him back as well.
All right, this sounds great, man. Yeah, and then like I said at the top of the show, we don't have a confirmed JV team. So from what I understand, you're looking for someone to take St. Jen's JV team's place, and so that our team can have a football game on Friday.
Yeah, so St. Jen's called this morning and said that they had too many injuries and couldn't fill the team. So I've been all day trying to find a school. We do have one school that wants to play. It might move the time back to 3:30, so we're just trying to confirm with the referees to see if they can make it. So I will know in the morning, and as soon as I find out, we'll get that out.
Okay, there you go.
But,
so yeah,
as of right now, we're not playing St. Jen's at all. That game is canceled. We do have a team. Sorry.
Got it. Okay, so again, you heard it from Coach. We're hoping to get somebody, and so if it happens, it happens. But right now, it's going to be canceled until further notice. I guess that would be a safe way to say it, right, Coach?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Man, I think that's that's all I got tonight. We're right at 30 minutes into the show. That's all I have tonight, man. I just want to reiterate those of you who are watching the Friday night live stream on YouTube. Go over to if you're watching right now on YouTube, you can go ahead and just subscribe. And if you're watching the show after this live, then go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and that way you'll be notified anytime we go live. And I know I have one family member that I need to really touch base with. I might have to make a phone call to make sure that they can look at the game, and so we'll follow up with that family, make sure that grandma can watch her grandson play on Friday night. So that's all good. Coach, any last words for you tonight before we head to the go to battle with St. John on Friday night?
I just think Friday's going to be a fun game. I'm looking to bounce back. The kids, like I said, had a great practice this week. We have our walkthrough, and kids are already talking about let's focus tomorrow. So, I think they're really ready to bounce back. And, last week is in the past, and, the kids are looking forward to getting back on this winning streak. So, hope everybody can come out Friday night, support, and, it's going to be a fun game.
Absolutely. Now, is there a particular theme tonight? I know last week was a blackout Friday charter night football game. Is there any particular color or combination that the boys are wearing tonight or Friday night?
We're definitely going to hold off on the all black for a while. I'm a little superstitious, so no black on black. So expect either blue on blue or blue on white. We got to go back to the winning ways.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, we appreciate your time. Just hang out a little bit as I close the show. And I do have a question for you as it relates to some of the extracurricular activity that happened after the game. So let's talk about that. But thanks for hanging out with us, Coach. Appreciate you. And we'll see you on the field on Friday night, 7 o'clock against St. Gen.
No problem. Anytime. Thank you.
All right. So, props to Coach Smith, wanting to bounce back. He's 2-1 and wanting to get back in the winning column. And so, again, this coming Friday, 7 o'clock, Stadium by the Sea. Come on out. As he just said, he's like, look, we play a similar defense. We play a similar offense. So it's almost going to be like a scrimmage against ourselves. But hopefully, in this scrimmage, in this game, we're going to come out on top instead of having St. Gen come out on top. So other than that, we appreciate you watching. And I know last time when I went live, I said that I'm working on the intro. Yes, I am still working on the intro. And I'm out there Friday nights trying to get some behind the scenes content so that I can create a brand new opening that'll be nice and all that kind of good stuff. So just look forward to working on that. And so just be patient with you, boy. I am working on a new intro and outro for this particular show. Other than that, I just want to say thank you for watching. We really appreciate you. And again, this coming Friday, Stadium by the Sea, 4 o'clock, I'm sorry, not 4 o'clock, 7 o'clock, St. Gen varsity game, and the JV game has been canceled as of right now until we confirm our JV team. All right, so with that being said, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video, or maybe I'll see you on the field. All right, so take care. Thanks for watching, and this is Mr. Riley coming to you live from the West Coast, the best coast, the West Side. Thanks, good night, and we will see you on Friday.
Hey, win on me, win on three, ready, 1, 2, 3. Win! Yeah! Stop playing with a P! 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 Stop playing with a P!